So, a little bit ago, like maybe an hour, hour and a half-ish, I watched the trailer for Velma, the upcoming animated show that's supposed to be a more adult, a more realistic take on Scooby-Doo, which, put in air quotes because Scooby is not going to be in it, but everyone else is going to be. So, excuse me, when this was first announced, the idea, like the pitch that I had heard was, okay, so this is, it's going to be more adult, a little more like realistic. It is specifically going to be about Velma solving mysteries. Like, okay, so it's a spinoff. It's not going to have the rest of Mystery Inc. I guess this is going to be either in this world they never existed, or, she kind of like moved away, moved on, because they've always, I think they're generally around high school age, maybe early college. I think at Zombie Island, like, they're a little more adulty. But for the most part, usually, like, high school-ish. But now she's on her own, doing her own shit, solving mysteries. That's completely fine. You're like, oh, okay, Mindy Kaling is going to be playing her, so she's going to be of, like, Middle Eastern descent. That's perfectly fine. I am the kind of person who, if a character's, like, gender, sexuality, race, anything like that is genuinely important to the identity of either the character or the story, it is something that should stay in place. If they made a Black Panther movie and a white guy was playing T'Challa, it would not work. If you were doing a live-action Lilo and Stitch, and Lilo was not Hawaiian or a Pacific Islander, I would think this is wrong, because that's actually kind of important to, like, the setting and the culture and the vibe of the piece. Now, Ariel being black in The Little Mermaid, that doesn't bother me. I don't care what her skin color is, so long as they put out a good product, because that's not something that, to me, has ever been important to Ariel as a character, or to The Little Mermaid as a whole. So, Middle Eastern Velma, I don't care. That's completely fine. Just make the show entertaining. It can be really funny. It could have, really interesting mysteries. It could be stuff where, like, okay, this show was getting dark. They are really, this could be like animated Criminal Minds, which I've never watched, but I've heard really good things about. It's like, okay, this could be a really cool and interesting show. Then the trailer comes out. And all I hear is, oh, the trailer's bad. Like, it's not good. I'm like, really? I mean, like, I still genuinely want to give it a shot for myself. It's like, well, what was it? Like, was it just not funny? Was the animation kind of jank? Because I'm seeing videos, and I haven't seen any of them, but they're all like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So I'm like, oh, okay, like, there's probably a lot in this trailer. The trailer's like 2 minutes? A minute and a half? I'm like, boy, they're getting a lot of content from not a lot of content. Now I'm worried. So the trailer is a Scream parody, where Velma's on the phone, someone calls her, like, hey. But instead of the, what's your favorite scary movie? It's like, oh yeah, I hear you like mysteries. Well, yeah, I love mysteries, blah, 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 blah. And the majority of the dialogue of the shit Velma is saying is, wow, the fact that people already don't like my show because it's different from what they expected, wow, let's make fun of them for that. That's it. She's like, hi, Warner Brothers, I heard you're making a new Jetsons show, and Judy Jetson isn't boy crazy. I am so offended. And, like, blah, 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 some other shit like that. It's like, because the internet, if there's one thing we can agree on, we don't like change. And then something about, like, I hear you like solving mysteries. She's like, yeah, but I'm so much more three-dimensional than that. It's like, okay, it's Velma. Like, it's a Scooby-Doo character. They are not very three-dimensional characters. That's kind of why they work so well. They're very simplistic. It's a show. I was already on your side. Now, I don't know if I would have liked it. I still want to give it a shot, like, to watch an episode or two to see what it's actually like. But this was a trailer that did not show me, this is the plot of the show, and this is why it's interesting. It did not show me, this is the kind of mysteries we're going to be solving. This is how dark they can be, or, like, this is how genuinely interesting they can be, how they're going to keep you on your toes. I know the other members of Mystery Inc. are in this, but they weren't anywhere in the trailer. So I don't know if I'm going to like their voices. I don't know if I'm going to like what they do with the characters. the only bit of humor I saw was very fourth wall breaking, like meta commentary. It wasn't exactly fourth wall, but it was a lot of meta commentary, which is not in and of itself bad, but I didn't feel like I was hearing funny jokes. I feel like I was being lectured to. And again, like, I'm already on your side. I just want you to be good, even if you're different. I don't want you to start preaching at me. At least not yet. I mean, like, again, like, if you have interesting themes about acceptance, or, like, sometimes people are different, they're not what you expect. It's a mystery show. That can literally be a theme of the show, and it can work fine. But not in your 1-minute trailer. Like, show me what the show is about. Make me love it. Make me fall in love with your plot, your setting, your characters, your humor. Don't just preach at me for a minute, because that's the thing that kind of turns me off. And the big thing that turned me off, which was not in the trailer, this was like a couple days ago, I saw a report. It's like, okay, everyone from Mystery Inc. is going to be in this, except Scooby-Doo. Okay, if you're bringing everyone else back, why not Scooby? And the report I read, it had said, so the thing that inherently makes Scooby-Doo a kid's show is the fact that Scooby-Doo was in it. They have a big-ass talking dog. So, we had no idea what to do with Scooby, because we want us to be like, we're more adult, we're more realistic, maybe kind of gritty. What are we going to do with the dog? We couldn't figure it out, so he's just not in it. And, oh, that is not a good look. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Like, I hear people like, oh, Hollywood's creatively bankrupt. Like, this show looks creatively bankrupt. Like, I'm seeing it thrown around like everyone's passing go and getting $200. The show can be good. There can be really interesting creative stuff. But the fact that they just admitted we did not know what to do with Scooby-Doo, okay, now you're starting to look maybe a little creatively bankrupt. I'm not going to lie. Like, that sounds bad. So, I kind of did a thought experiment. I was like, okay, if I was tasked, JJNW, you were going to do a Scooby-Doo show. You can't have Scooby as just a dog. Because apparently, like, if they couldn't just have a dog, whether he was talking or even a silent dog that's, like, really well energetic or animated or something. It's like, he can't just be a dog. What are you going to do? What's your pitch? I was like, okay, what would I do with a Scooby-Doo show, like, in general? Okay, let's say Mystery Inc. is, like, a bunch of college kids. Like, it is a club in their school. Let's say that Freddy is the leader because he loves solving mysteries. Like, maybe he grew up and he loved detective movies or whatever, but this, like, the club is his baby and these are all his friends and he just wants to have a good time with his friends. Velma. Say Velma, it's like, yes, she's she can be very nerdy, she's very book smart. Velma is frequently portrayed as the skeptic, so what if we flip that? What if Velma is the one that really wants to believe in supernatural shit? She's like, guys, we're gonna catch a ghost. And, like, I am so excited because I believe in ghosts. This one is real. Trust me, this time it's going to be real. I'm so excited. And then, like, she's just having a blast, like, doing this stuff. And then, it's not real, and she gets a little disappointed. But she's not, like, dumb. She can still kind of tell, like, oh, okay, I mean, it's probably gonna be this guy. But hear me out. Maybe this time, the creeper's actually a weird green thing. Like, I know it's crazy, but maybe. And then, like, so maybe Daphne is the skeptic. Like, maybe her parents were cops. Maybe one of them, maybe both of them, I don't know. So, she actually has a more kind of analytical mind. Like, well, I almost called her Daisy for some reason. I don't know why. But Velma, I don't know why I was going to call her Daisy. I don't know, maybe that's her middle name in this. Velma Daisy Dinkley. But so, Velma is the more book smart, Daphne is the more kind of street smart. And so she's really good at kind of reading people and seeing when something is off. Velma's still the one that's really good at kind of putting the clues together. But so Daphne is the one who's very like, nah, hun, this ain't it. Like, it's not a zombie, blah, 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 blah. But she's not, like, looking down on her. Like, she's not mean about it, but she's like, no, I just don't believe. As for Shaggy, he's like, what should Shaggy do? What if Shaggy's a comedian? Like, his whole thing is he's working on a bit, he's working on his character, and his method of comedy is ventriloquism. So he has this brown dog puppet that he calls Scooby-Doo, and that's how Scooby is in the show. He's a freaking puppet. And Shaggy does a voice for him, like Shaggy's regular voice, whoever you have voicing Shaggy. Let's say it's like all the current people, so like Matthew Lerner is voicing Shaggy. And then, he's like mid-conversation, like, hey man, hey Scoops, what do you think of Raggy? And like, he does it so often, like he interacts with Scooby, like around everyone else. So it's not like, oh yeah, he's a weirdo, he doesn't have friends, so he projects on the puppet. It's, no, this is just his bit. And Scooby the puppet will interact with other people, and like maybe the part of the character is Scooby just roasts people. Like, Red fell down. And then Fred just kind of yells at the puppet and then just kind of has that second of, all right, I'm interacting with the puppet again. Like, that would be really funny to me. It's like, there you go. That's something you can do with Scooby. It brings him in, it gives Shaggy his bit. Like, this is what his character is. That is why he's doing mysteries. Is he still a coward? Yes, and maybe to a degree, Scooby is kind of his coping mechanism, where Scooby is kind of the brave one of the two, which, again, is a bit of a role reversal, and it kind of helps him with that stuff. But when it comes to social situations, the dude is perfectly fine. This is just his thing. And so I was like, okay, so, like, what are you going to do for a plot? Like, is it, what was my brain going? Is it like a monster of the week? Is it an ongoing story? It's like, okay, what if this is the plot? So, Fred wins a treasure map off of some like grifter in a bar, and he comes and he's like, okay guys, I found like a treasure map. He's like, I found this, I won this treasure map, we gotta like take a trip like down the East Coast. It's somewhere in like North Carolina, like we gotta go to like Roanoke Island, and maybe while we're there we can investigate and find out what happened to Roanoke. And then Daphne's like, yo, cool, like, it's an adventure, it's a mystery I'm in. And Velma's like, guys, it might be supernatural stuff, maybe we'll find the ghosts. And then, Shaggy just looks at the Scooby puppet like, I don't know, Scoob, ghost, come on, Raggy, why are you such a coward? Like, I don't know, just some dumb shit like that. I think it'll be fun. The first few episodes, they're going down the coast, having a good time, solving a mystery or two. So it still gives that feel of like a Monster of the Week Scooby-Doo vibe. But then when you actually get to the area, so yeah, let's just say it's Roanoke or like North Carolina, then it becomes almost more Gravity Falls-ish, where there's weird happenings going on and it's genuinely not evident if everything going on is real, if everything is going on is like supernatural, what? And then as it goes on, a few episodes more, it is supernatural. And then you got Velma just super excited, like, guys, I told you, they're real! There's ghosts! I'm so happy! I could see a scene where there's like a zombie or something, and she's like, guys, look! Blood! Real blood! I think that'd be hilarious! And then you got Daphne in the corner undergoing a mental breakdown. She's like, guys, I always thought it was fake, because it's always been fake. This is wrong. This is not okay. I don't know what to do. And you've got Fred, who as soon as shit goes down, he's like, okay, these are my friends. The reason they're here is because of me. I made the club. I'm the one who got the treasure map. It was my idea to come down here. I drove everyone in the mystery machine. And they probably, switch off every now and then, but it's his car, his van. He's like, it's my fault. I need to take responsibility. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure we get out of here. Because, for some reason, they're going to be trapped in the town. Let's be real. It's like, while we're trapped here, I'm going to do everything I can to get us out. I'm going to do everything I can to keep us safe. And because they're supernatural things, maybe it's ghosts, maybe it's demons, maybe it's some kind of third thing, the Scooby puppet gets possessed. And then it doesn't actually turn to a talking dog, but the puppet comes to life and develops its own personality, which may or may not be very similar to the one that Shaggy came up with. And then so you have I would love it if it's actually the main antagonist possesses the puppet. And by the end of the season, like, all right, they stopped his plans, they foiled everything, he's still stuck in the puppet. And so it's like for season 2, whatever happens in season 2, they just have a talking dog puppet, and that is what Scooby-Doo is. It would be so bizarre. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's a good idea, but I love it anyways, because I think it's so, like, batshit insane. I would love to see something like that. And this took me, like, a 20, 30, maybe minute brainstorming session with Clay the other night while we were just going for a drive. These guys have had, I don't know how much time, like how many years or whatever, and multiple writers, and they couldn't come up with anything to do with Scooby? Really? I mean, I don't know. You could make Shaggy like a bounty hunter. Okay, now that sounds way more insane than what I just suggested, but maybe that's what they do as part of their mysteries. Like, so they have a dog, and the job of the dog is like, he finds the scent, and it helps them find people. There you go. You brought the dog, and you made him part of the mystery solving. Maybe, just maybe, they just have a dog. Hell, maybe you decide that, Velma with her whole glasses thing, she's actually blind. Excuse me, and Scooby is her seeing eye dog, so that's why she has a dog. He's just, he's a good boy. Does he talk? No, but he still shows a lot of personality. It's not super hard to think of a way to include Scooby-Doo in a Scooby-Doo property. Now, the humor in the trailer, like I said, very meta commentary, very preachy, and not really jokes. So I don't know how good it will be. I hope it is. I hope when they actually are interacting with the other characters, it can be really entertaining. Because maybe they're not trying to make it a comedy. I know Mindy Kaling is funny. But, so that's my guess. But maybe instead of a comedy, they want to make it more of a serious drama. And then hopefully the drama is really interesting. But that first, 1 minute or whatever teaser wasn't it. And the fact that they said, we could not think of what to do with Scooby frickin' Doo, so he's not in the Scooby-Doo property. It doesn't bode well. At least to me, it really doesn't. I hope it's good. I hope it's successful, but we'll see.